you like Fairfield. I trust the dusty streets, inescapable advertising, and high-strung citizenry live up to your expectations of an Auntie's Choice Company town?
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized... as the perfect ecosystem. The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network.
Not gonna lie, my thoughts are plagued by the notion of perishing atop that picker. Though I can't reconcile if I'd have starved, parched, or followed poor Jackson to the ground. Well, you found her. Or at least most of her. She's the brainwashed lout who opted to jump into the gears of the picker instead of living a rewarding life of self-determinism. Honestly, I shudder with baffled confusion even thinking of such a thing. But I guess that's the benefit of being reared in a society that values our value. Thanks again for getting us off that literal ledge. Though with our gratitude meaningfully expressed through the requisite bits, I'm not sure we have anything more to discuss.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them for a mental refreshment post haste. It's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Outside.
Under protectorate law, we are bound
How empty are the lives of anti-subjects that they need to rely on consumerism to find meaning?
inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficiency in defense against seizure, sabotage, and
Welcome back.
Prudence dictates we maintain sufficient zeal at all times.
You walked in here under your own steam and appear reasonably free of cuts, burns, or weeping lesions. So, I assume you're presently devoid of mortiferous injuries. Good. Because we've got more of that than we can handle. You haven't heard? When Antes invaded, they broke the seawall. Flooded nearly half the town below, where most of the domiciles were. A number of our subjects drowned. Others got concussed, or even crushed. A few were electrocuted or exposed to caustics. Took a while for our water purifier to catch up, so some drank tainted water, which is not good for you at all. I'm glad it's working again. All right, well, don't let me keep you.
I wish everyone's neighbor Prudence was my actual neighbor. Except my domicile is presently underwater.
My body is covered in burns acquired in battle during the attack. The only relief I have is when I can jump in the water and float over my former house. Is now a bad time to report myself for mental refreshment? I wouldn't want to be inconvenient.
Stranger?
Of course, it's part of the Sovereign's plan. He floods our houses, which makes more habitat for fish, which offers us more to eat, which gives us the strength to build new houses. But then, how do I cook the fish? Prudence dictates we maintain sufficient zeal at all times. Stay true, outsider.
May you realign with the paradigm.
Right now, the paradigm needs our houses underwater. Hopefully it'll need them dry again soon. Until then, it's a short swing.
Is that Auntie's choice is years behind us sociologically. So they've started the war to grab any part of the paradigm that they can.
Stranger?
Simply saying I'd rest easier if he'd been assigned to it. Originally, that generator goes? Talented finish.
And a sovereign embodies an There's executes on it. Throughout history, humans.
The matriarch and sovereign chose Eden, the perfect ecotope, as our home, and devised the paradigm as a great way to maintain it.
Suffering. Poor dears didn't have the firm, benevolent hand of the sovereign to guide them. Here on Eden, we all enjoy the full.
Appeared right out of the aether, just as I imagine our proud sentinels do. Like, here I am, your innermost thoughts are known to me, and nobody once hears from you again. Caught me reciting passages from a beacon to the cosmos, illustrating my steadfast fidelity. All subjects prosper under the guidance of our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign. That part always hits me directly. To quote my personal log, an essential passage, rightful and true. Charlton Weintraub.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Did I? Not again. Oh, this? It's a birthmark, skin condition, both, about which I am rather sensitive, thank you very kindly.
The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To go
Say, you are every bit you seem, yes? Thoroughly on the up and up and in no way a hidden agent? It is widely known that a sentinel is required to stand revealed before rendering judgment. Why, a plot point about that featured prominently in the latest episode of I, Red Cloak.
Of course you believe everything on the Aether Wave. I guess it would be stranger if you didn't swallow the propaganda, even if it does take some heavy dramatic license.
like those nettlesome raptidons, or the base individualists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient.
Well, you appear to be far more fluent with Sentinel procedure than I. Veiled implication understood. If you'll excuse me, I best return to my work tasks. If you were a Sentinel, or in some Sentinel-adjacent role, I'd of course be honored to have you inspect my belongings. Unfortunately, my house is currently besieged by Crabbles. In any case, back to it.
Feeling distracted.
The Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around?
Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go down.
That is, I meant to say, through his beneficent guidance, and bid you good day.
I can usually tell when a fella's up to something, and that fella's up to something. Might be nothing serious, but we ought to poke around and find out what. Just in case.
Against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
The Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around?
Of course. Toodaloo.
The paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies.
Look who's back.
Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant.
Sequencing attack strategies.
Trigger finger's still tight.
Emergency protocols ready.
Give the order, then I'll...
This you. Confronting threat. Standing by with my phone.
No target.
Sit or sprint? Typical predicament for an anti-bottom runger like me. Wish I never snuck in here to begin with. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Nah, it was a great idea. So much stuff for the taking around here. Motherload of loot. Plenty to get me back in the Sprag race. Just didn't account for all these crabbles. Real fly in the old ointment. I could just sit tight, live lean off all these supplies, hope the crabbles skedaddle, or maybe open the door and bolt. Seems like a good idea. Nah, it's a great idea.
Now let's admire these commendable comestibles.
Neither migraines, nor muscle aches, nor plasma weapon cauterizations will stay me from my appointed tasks. Duty calls. Call on Patriarch's own Mercy Oxymorpho. It's the pain subjugator.
Intriguing items, engagingly described. What's up next?
Look who's back.
Even the most robust ecosystem, like those meddlesome raptidons, the base in lists within Auntie's choice. Though don't fret, the system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep informing on your neighbors. Same as ever. But prudence dictates we give it a little extra added zeal for now, just to offset any minor disruption.
Is a fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assigned work? Report them
Ah,
for mental
the Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around?
Of course. Toodaloo.
Recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous due to insufficient zeal in defense against seizure, sabotage, and/or manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Outside. Don't suppose you checked in with Vigilant Hogarth yet, eh? Oh, glad to hear. Probably sprung an important task on you afterwards, I'd wager. I mentioned to the Vigilant how I'd reset my chef mech to prepare meals to my liking. Next thing you know, he puts me in charge of repairing all the mechs in Westport.
Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the
I mean, sure. All the underlying logic's the same if you mull it over. I've been trained to run them big algae processing units, which are a fair amount more complex. It's just... subjects are expected to mind their assigned area and particular forte. So I was a mite taken aback. But I am happy to help the system abide any way I am able.
A perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have community, purpose, time for recreation. We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates we take a moment to rightly appreciate it all and thank the sovereign.
Curativist Row is a fine sword. Pillar of our community. Might impatient, sure, but with how busy she is, we'd all do well to respect her time. Watch out for that Weintraut fellow. Talk your ear off if you let him. Kinda lonesome, but doesn't let anybody near his place for some reason. Even before the flooding. Everybody else? Decent enough, I guess. Not to indulge in idle talk, but things have been different around here of late. Not at all overwhelmed or terrified of dying, though, of course. The system abides.
Fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch working with and through the sovereign.
Well, mechs do all the heavy work for us in the Protectorate. Just like each of us, each type of mech has their assigned specialty. Takes a little doing, but you can readjust them. A combat mech can be reconfigured to oversee comestible distribution, for instance. Or mine or harvest crops. All you need is the know-how to retool their subroutines. And the right parts. Plenty of parts. Granted, reprogrammed mechs are never as efficient as those specially made for a role, but they get by, eventually. After a fashion. Much to do, truly. Toughest challenge now is upkeep of key apparatus. If that generator goes, for instance, doubt I have means to fix it. We lose power to charge our mechs, this place is done for. Final nail in the coffin, or similarly minded metaphor of your choosing. Not that the paradigm would allow that, of course. Outsider.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are declared treasonous.
perfect union. Possible peace.
Seeing Zeb again went different than I expected. Not that I had high hopes for tears and confetti, but damn. That's appreciated, Commander. Maybe I ought to apologize straight away. But I'm not convinced I did the wrong thing, leaving. Had I stayed, who knows? Likely I'd have gotten us both killed. That's fair. Might have left him a note or something. I was just worried I'd lose my nerve, but you have a point. Wasn't right of me to just up and split. Anyway, I appreciate the check-in, Commander. Was there anything else you needed?
Outside.
Fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch working with and through the sovereign.
The Outlander I spoke with before. What brings you back around?
Marvel where, if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally,
Why, that's wonderful. I'm actually quite relieved a fellow customer like yourself somehow saw through my carefully maintained act. Others in Westport fail to perceive my true nature. I am hardly one of the herd around here. A reference you'll no doubt recognize from those keen Auntie's Choice commercials.
the system is resilient. The system abides. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part.
Why, they are certainly inspiring. There's this one character who just laughs at danger, says he hand makes his own luck. Is that not the grandest thing you ever heard? You and I are just like him. Get up and go-getters. Say, did Auntie's Choice send you here? Don't fret, I am exceedingly skilled at keeping secrets.
Feeling distracted? Daydreaming on the job? Mental refreshment centers are there to help you. Don't risk falling prey to imperfect thoughts. Go now.
Under protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows. All inhabitants are
If I am not the person for it, I would be most surprised. Do tell.
and for manipulative indoctrinatory falsity.
Our enemies envy our prosperity, disdain our sense of community. They sneer at our contentment.
Everyone knows
Ugh, my uncle's child. That side of the family is obstinate and mean. No, I'd hardly risk life and limb trying to convert her.
that executes on it. Throughout history, human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran rampant. Depletion of resources and a lack of community led to terrible suffering. Poor dears didn't have the
I possess an overabundance of both qualities, honestly. Yet I value my neck and do not intend to hang.
The paradigm affords us a perfect life of contentment and plenty. We have
Oh, did you have another mission in mind? One especially designed for my unique talents?
work isn't strenuous or stressful. Food is nutritious and plentiful. We have everything we need. Prudence dictates we take a moment
Of course. Toodaloo. Hey there, go-getter.
to thank the sovereign.
I see you have not brought my cousin to heal. Have you at least seen about Ida? Let me see that. Yes. Yes! This does appear to be hers. Unfortunately, there are reports of the Harvester having been repaired in the wake of her sabotage. Though her triumph may not have endured, it was a good effort nonetheless. Should Montelli deign to interrogate me for my associations, I'll be certain to inform him of her patriotism. This displeases me. Sabotage is only as good as the further suffering inflicted once its victims know the truth. Though I suppose a minor inconvenience is also acceptable. I'm thankful for the report. Now I just require my fool of a cousin in hand. Be on your way. I've been mulling on the information about Ida. Such blessed tidings indeed. But I will not be sated until my cousin is at my mercy. Good. I can't wait to see the look on his face when I capture him.
You are the raw material for perfection. From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all...
Look who's back.
Hey there, go-getter. Why, hello again. Any new business to discuss involving secret sympathies and sugary spoils?
The pleasant atmosphere and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex...
Oh, my assigned profession once was automectalier, but wonder of wonders, I was reassigned. Did you know that could happen? I did not. Vigilant Hogarth tasked me to maintain the morale of other subjects by reading inspiring words from the Sovereign. I have become quite practiced at it.
Sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how invasive species can unbalance...
If I am not the person for it, I would be most surprised. Do tell.
or the base individualists within...
Ugh, my uncle's child. That side of the family is obstinate and mean. No, I'd hardly risk... That seems neither prudent nor wise. I value my neck and do not intend to hang.
Keep doing your job with pride.
Oh, did you have another mission in... Of course.
As ever, but prudent...
I've been mulling on the information about Ida. Such blessed tidings indeed. Good.
fellow subject lacking the appropriate zeal for their assignment, let them ferment a refreshment post-haste. It's not just a good idea. It's
Outside.
Under protectorate law, we are
Hey there, Goat. Why, hello again. Any new business to discuss? If I am not the person for it, I would be... Ugh, my uncle's child. That side of the family... That seems neither prudent nor wise. I value my neck and do not intend to hang. Of course. Hey there, Goat. Get out.
our prosperity, disdain our...
You can't spell heinous ascetic without Auntie's choice.
Sometimes I get the feeling we're not welcome here. Protectorate folks resent us liberating them.
They know this invasion ain't personal. It's just business. Besides, we're expecting them. They never had something they were out here for fun.
Doc. I'll be over here. Definitely not in excruciating pain.
How do you eat Purpleberry Crunch? Real warriors eat it right from the box.
Blood and bile are covered under our standard sanitation tax. All other bodily excretions may incur an additional surcharge.
Don't mean to sound unsociable, but you might not want to stand so close. The bleeding ain't contagious, but it ain't slowed much neither. I hate to bleed all over you. Wouldn't mind conversating a bit, though. Anything to take my mind off the pain. Oh, it stings.
This unit is not permitted to operate within corporate-owned medical facilities without said corporation's consent. Non-legally binding reassurances, however, may be offered.
Reassurances, you say? Like what?
Deploying reassurance. Do not worry. You will be fine.
I guess that's something. Look at me, drawing comfort from a drone after being attacked by one. Funny world, ain't it? I was on sentry duty, bravely surveying our perimeter for threats, when a Protectorate drone attacked out of nowhere. Third time in as many days. I returned fire like it was a cereal. Bang, bang, bang! Pew, pew, pew! Oh, not excessively, of course. Don't want Auntie taking that extra ammunition out of my paycheck. Again, it was all going fine until the damn thing blasts me while I'm reloading. Mighty uncourteous, you ask me. Trooper Faulkner happened upon the scene just then and dispatched the drone before it could finish me off. No idea where these drones are coming from, but Faulkner's been having a time of it lately. Be nice if someone helped out, but Carr's hands are tied. Lack of resources, I guess? As for the rest of these fine folk, they were attacked by Protectorate while defending the forward operating base. Imagine the base is probably hurting for warm bodies just now. Only one of the most lucrative posts a soldier could be assigned to. Hazard pay through the roof. The FOB's our main line of defense. The only thing stopping the Protectorate from sending their legions over that bridge of theirs and attacking us here in Fairfield. The man in charge, Commander Torres, is a legend. Rumor has it his troopers are relentless, fighting through wounds that would kill most. What I wouldn't give to join his outfit. Playing it safe doesn't amount to much, but maybe you're right. Probably just muck things up at the FOB too. Damn it. I gotta find some way to beat these low-runger allegations. It's all a moot point till I can get this arm of mine mended. Poor Doc Barnes is working himself to the bone trying to take care of us, but he's only one man. I suppose it could be worse. At least Command's not throwing us at that relay station. Can't imagine the casualties he'd be dealing with then, given all its defenses. Well, Cole's got the saloon up and running now. World always shines a little brighter after a few swigs of Spectrum. I don't know. You some kind of doctor type? I hate to stifle your curiosity, but I'm not looking to become an exhibit. Don't sweat it none. Auntie's Choice advocates for self-reliability anyway. Can't go around expecting other people to solve my problems for me, right? No, I'll be paying him for a service. I'm supporting the local economy, you see. Anyway, thanks for stopping to chat. The other troopers here ain't exactly chatty types. Maybe on account of the blood loss?
I must ask you to hold still.
No time to conversate.
My liver ain't the lily kind. Tell it to me straight, Doc.
The bullet shattered your tibia and all but demolished your gastrocnemius muscle. Due to the risk of infection, I have to abscise your leg. There is good news, however. I recently enrolled in a course on advanced amputation techniques, so I'll be seeing a positive return on my investment sooner than expected. Don't be obscene. I have on hand a perfectly adequate tranquilizer to manage any flailing.
Say, how sore are my pockets gonna be after all this, Doc? Don't suppose there's a discount for only taking a portion of the leg?
I'm not running a charity. If you desire full treatment, you'll pay full cost. If that's a problem, seek compensation from your commanding officer. Well then, she should have thought about that before getting shot.
This is a mighty big decision, Doc. Can I have a moment to noodle on it?
I don't encourage delays, but very well. It'll take a few minutes for me to warm up the saw anyway. At the moment, yes, it's only medical doctor. We also have Dr. Tinsley, but let's just say she's in a different discipline altogether. I'm on my own then, more or less. In case it isn't apparent, I'm having what might be called a day. A whole platoon of soldiers decided to get themselves all shot up defending the forward operating base. And then there's Erickson. Something happened with a drone. I don't know. You'd be better off speaking with him about it. Oh, good lad. But he's mistaken. It's not more hands I need, but resources. Short of you skipping back in time and ordering the coagulant I need, I doubt anything can be done to accelerate the timetable for treating these soldiers. I am a doctor, not a magician. I cannot manufacture coagulant from the Aether, neither do I possess the special training to improvise with what supplies I have on hand. Now, was there anything else? Some. Most still tout the all-healing nature of Protectorate medicine. But despite that, they're surprisingly amenable to accepting treatment.
They don't know what the right to dissent. Probably wouldn't even occur to them to turn down poison if you told them to take it.
Good thing I don't prescribe poison then. Normally. In truth, I expected more resistance given the sudden transition. But I'm not one to complain of a headache I don't have. Pharmaceuticals, bandages, tinctures. It's all here. me, that chem set is not a toy.
Whoever fixes this rift problem is definitely getting a whole side sweep of an Elysian view in head office town.
Our target audience here is people who want to forget their worries, and sometimes their names. Welcome to the Name Pending Saloon, purveyor of spirits and stimuli. What'll it be, stranger? That is an ensuing step on my 19-point business plan. Trying to find a name that would convince patrons to spend their hard-earned bits here. Like to hear a few contenders? As in, my top favorites are 1. The Drunken Haggler, 2. Accessories, 3. Absinthe-Minded, 4. The Fair Shake. Now tell me, which would make you spend your hard-earned bits here? Well, that's what we'll call it then. I'll tell future business partners we did extensive outside testing. I can now check off step 18 of my business plan. Why, sure. You'd be surprised how much loose talk and idle speculation occurs around here. What, between the Protectorate defectors, finally able to speak their minds, and all our off-duty Antes employees carping about work and the war. Any particular topic you have in mind? Oh, Minister Milver Street's blessed with the gift of gab. Swear he could sell bypass shunts to a Raptidon. Ain't one of them falsely magniloquent types, though. Sincere fella. Shares command of Fairfield with Acquisitions Officer Carr. She's blunt and murderous. 2 traits Auntie's Choice highly prizes in a commander of corporate forces. To say they have differing approaches to leadership is like saying, gee, suns are hot, whilst being incinerated in a solar eruption. Vox Station's run by a brigadier by the name of Montelli. Sounds like he's as much a danger to his own troops as ours. Real piece of work, even by Protectorate standards. Reportedly enamored of show trials and summary executions. Tell you one thing you can't avoid, the bridge. No other way around it, and at present, it's held by Protectorate forces. We have a small contingent of troops bivouacked nearby. Forward Operating Base, they call it. You're asking me for the particulars of a high-level corporate acquisition. Like, an in-depth accounting of the various parties who vied for control and who won out in the end? They merged. Rebranded. Auntie Cleo seems in charge now. Dunno. Do my best to steer clear of corporate intrigue. My pleasure. Got anything for me in return? Of course I know that. We all do. Just trying to make some bits while I can, you know? Besides, some say it's decades away. Why fret unduly today? Here I was hoping you'd have a good story for me in exchange, but oh well. Not everyone's a seasoned raconteur. Pick your poison, and I am mostly not being literal there. Well, don't you look thirsty for fulfillment and value. Welcome back to... Oh, what was it again? Oh, right. Accessories. What'll it be, stranger? All right. Appreciate you dropping by.
One of my copious direct reports. Rest assured, I'm making adequate progress in my manual labors. Time for another performance review already. Apologies, I'm still applying the required elbow grease to scour these surfaces, just like a novice facility sanitizer should. Oh no, I'm not getting demoted again, am I? This meritocratic society is still so foreign. The workplace skullduggery, the prioritizing of self over community, the excessively colorful nutrition. Well, let's see. Before this, I was auxiliary assistant, then dehydrant rehydrator, then apprentice hireling. That was my big break with Auntie after we were liberated. However, I fear I'm not cut out for this canid, eat canid lifestyle. Seems the only way to flourish is through general underhandedness and ruthless efficiency. Never picked up those skills in my 50 years as Fairfield's drone operator. Pity they didn't keep me on there. I was quite skilled at it. Well, you're right. I wanted change. Whole reason I left the Protectorate in the first place. No sense complaining about the means now.
Close to hitting rock bottom. Middling bottom, sure, but not rock bottom.
Anti-Fizzos made them better with anti-Cleo.
Leave me be. I have no interest in dealing with the machinations of you dark marketers today.
Someday, when I make it big in lower middle management, I'm gonna come back here and buy this crummy Hudson.
Accept no invitations. The game lets you know it's authentic. Chemicals and preservatives.
Everyone knows the paradigm epitomizes the pinnacle of social order. Why? Because the matriarch herself designed it, and the sovereign embodies and executes on it.
Outside.
Human societies were constantly out of balance. Individualism ran.
Hey there, go-getter. Why, hello again. Any new business to discuss involving secret sympathies? If I am not the person for it, I would be Ugh, my uncle's child. That side of the family is obstinate and mean. No, I possess an overabundance of both qualities, honestly. Yet I value my neck and do not Oh, did you have another mission in? Of course. Hey there, go-getter.
We sleep well at night. Work isn't strenuous or food is nutritious and The Sovereign.
Emergency protocol syringes primed.
We must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it
Guns
as
cocked
the
and loaded.
perfect
Just give the signal.
ecosystem. The native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, matriarch.
You are the raw material.
Hey there, go-getter.
lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
Chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect the native flora and fauna, the pleasant atmosphere, and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch working with and through the soul devised the paradigm, a meticulous
Ready to assist with agents' health needs.
if each of us does our part, produces glorious bounty for all. Naturally, sometimes challenges do arise. We all know how invasive species can unbalance even the most robust ecosystems.
Let me know when you needed a stretch.
Metals of raptidons, or the base individualists within Auntie's choice. But now, more than ever, we must all do our part to maintain it. Keep doing your job with pride. Keep performing on your name.
You are the raw material.
Hey there, go-getter.
From the lowliest subject to the most exalted vigilant, we must all fulfill our duty to the Protectorate. We're all in this together.
The matriarch chose Eden because she recognized it as the perfect ecosystem. The native flora. The pleasant atmosphere and rich natural resources represent a fascinatingly complex ecological network. To govern it, the matriarch working with and through sovereign. each of us does our part, produce.
Auntie's Choice is the proud maker of Spacer's Choice. Zero G
When might I begin laboring for Auntie? I so eagerly want to contribute to the corporate whole.
School your thrusters, friend. A little gumption goes a long way.
I'm simply not credulous enough to accept this is where I've ended up. Doing the work of at least 3 lackeys. Or a full half-dozen automechs, all by my lonesome. I'd welcome you, would-be consumer, but we are not a retail operation. Please visit the various consumer locations around Fairfield for all your purchasing needs. I have far too many claims on my time to be able to cater to the curious at the moment. I was meant to have help, but they lacked the barest amount of gray matter it takes to keep from getting locked up by excessive corporate malfeasance. So, I'm on my own here. Breaking my back, trying to buttress all these vines on top of all my other jobs. Oh, the bits I wouldn't pay for some of those mechs the Protectorate used to work this place. So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? Quite the setup, ain't it? Before we took Fairfield, Auntie's Choice didn't have anything like this. Every kind of plant we've got was made to thrive in a chemical vat. But the Protectorate grows all their greens the old-fashioned way, with water and soil and actual fertilizer. I can't decide if it's adorably quaint or just plain daft. Then again, they all only have one job, so they have the time to indulge in all those sorts of archaic whimsies. Damn lucky Crabble copulators. Research mostly, some wholesale, and as the base for some small batch, highly exclusive, limited edition retail runs. Though I expect word any day that the big brains in R&D will have tweaked and twisted these plants so they're better than nature. Then we push the new product on the market. And my contract says I get 0.003427% of net after development, testing, packaging, advertising, and distribution costs. So you know, this is a pretty big deal for me. Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? Because all these plants were unknown inside Auntie's Choice. And there's a good chance we can make something of them. Though I expect word any day that the big brains in R&D will have tweaked and twisted these plants so they're better than nature. Then we push the new product on the market. And my contract says I get 0.003427% of net after development, testing, packaging, advertising, and distribution costs. So you know, this is a pretty big deal for me. Really? Feel you're entitled to that information, do you? Nah, it's only a crime if you get caught. And you only get caught if you cause enough trouble that excessive corporate malfeasance has no choice but to haul you in. So long as you respect their boundaries, keep the right palms greased, and apply a bit of discretion, it's easy enough to do just about anything you need done. But since the original crew we sent here couldn't handle those 3 simple rules, it does so happen I have an opening for a well-paid accomplice. Interested? I'm part of Sub Rosa. We're a group of merchants, information brokers, and commodity traders who deal outside the systems most folk are confined by. We're the best way to get things done in anti-space if you're looking for profit. Want to buy it, sell it, move it? We've got someone to do it for you. Well, isn't that just wonderful? I had no suspicion when you walked through my door that you'd help resolve the last of the morass Paradise Island has become for us. And all we need you to do is access Quartermaster Cardos's terminal and scrub any Spectrum vodka from her ledgers. It's already been resold, so having it in her system could become problematic. Expunge it, and I get you some bits, and the friendship of Sub Rosa all over the system. You get me? Because we are the black market in Arcadia. Odds are, at some point, you're going to need something you just can't get legally. Then you'll be thrilled we're associated. Sub Rosa feeds that appetite to not just survive, but to thrive. And that's taking all of us places. We're more than simple opportunists. We are opportunistically driven. Trust me, for both short-term benefits and long-term prospects, you want to be our friend. It'll probably be nothing. She's just a sergeant, not someone who has any real pull. And I've already made arrangements with everyone who matters. So, if she catches you, about the worst she can do is a switch on the rest. And I'll be waiting here with your bits.
I worry Zeb's in over his head with all of this. Good thing we showed up when we did.
orders. Let me guess. Gun keeps jamming, armor don't quite fit snug as you like. State your division and I'll get you outfitted, quick and proper, or your next provision's free. Astounded the minister hasn't yet converted you to our cause. But in the meantime, I'll trade you my own bona fides for jotting down your name. All bits spend the same to me. As Chief Replenishment Officer, it's my privileged duty to furnish our brave troops with all of their wartime essentials. You could say I put the ration in liberation. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply you. Those hoople heads. First they botched their work up here, now the Grove. If there were medals for incompetence, they'd be well decorated. Well, I thank you for helping them out. Sorry you had to go out of your way. What do you need this time? Good eye. Though I'd say they're better than nice. Got more armor than a Hammerclaw, but better flight handling than the old clunkers we used to stock. If things had turned out differently, it might be someone else standing here, while I'd be off piloting one of those beauties. Don't have the aptitude for flight, apparently. But this role suits me fine. I like the upward mobility, in the metaphorical business sense, I mean. What? She'll start bleeding fuel during ascent, if not worse. I'd best go and take a quick gander, just in case. Thanks for the tip. She looks all right. And over there, you see, the fuselage has been modified to endure the pressure of repeated entries, which is... but listen to me blathering on. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply you. No one here but you, me, and several tons of well-oiled machinery. What's this about? Now there's an odd request. If you've got queries about my stock, I'm sure I could answer them for you. Wait one rat-gone moment. Did Ms. Galloway put you up to this? She asked me for terminal access not even a fortnight ago. I'd call it coincidence if it didn't feel so much like conspiracy. I can't for the life of me adduce a reason as to why a greenhouse manager would be interested in military inventory. What kind of plants are we growing in there? I'm not sure why she didn't just tell me that in the first place. Well, we don't want an infiltrator exploiting any of our systems. Go ahead and do what you gotta. Keycard to access the terminals on the boxes right outside my stores there. Feel free to nab it. Business is always good when a war's on. What do you need this time? As a friendly reminder, all sales are final, especially ammunition.
Hello again. You get that inventory issue sorted? How grand. That officially mops up the last of the mess from the buffoons that came before me. And, as promised, my good fortune is also your good fortune. And while this might be a tad fewer bits than you were hoping for, remember, you've also made allies that you'll find all across Arcadia. Just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle near the middle. Like the one you passed on your way in. Find that rose, and you find Sub Rosa.
you people are always going on about. Does it really improve your life?
Yes. Paradigm Research supplies all we deserve.
I wonder if it would help me. Is it available in extra strength?
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I couldn't liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. You don't know? But I thought everyone in Fairfield knew of... Oh, right. I see what you're trying to do. This is top secret. We must speak in riddles to safeguard our findings, yes? Should I use code names too? The subterfuge is so exciting. Thank the law you knew to enforce protocol, lest I blabber corporate secrets to the wrong person. No, wait. You're not one of Auntie's choice. Oh, the attitude, the posture, the general unkemptness that can only be spotted if one truly looks closely. And it's my job to notice the finer details. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful Raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically. Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the Raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say I'm perhaps a bit on edge. Folk here have grown weary, shall we say, with the war effort, and with avoiding Carr and the minister's would-be fisticuffs. If you two have spotted the chasm between them, I fear the Protectorate have already pinpointed the way with which to exploit it. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. Well, because I was Protectorate. Once. I defected to Auntie's the second I could. But that's not the point of this conversation. Not when our leaders cannot reach an accord. One wishes to move Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. Have they? Goodness. Then it seems things are more precarious than I realized. If you do intend to lend your aid to the Minister or Officer Carr, I only ask that you consider the ramifications. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. Well, I was a subject once. Despite my talents, the plan dictated that I should be relegated to programming cleaning mechs. Bah. But then, Auntie's Choice came along and offered to transform our lives for the better. I chose to accept. And look where I am today. Over the last year, I have climbed the rungs of my division through the sheer merit of my work. I have finally earned the respect I was always due. Poor things. They either fought to the last or chose to flee. It's regrettable, but some folk just aren't ready to embrace change. All they knew was being told how to live. They couldn't imagine any other way. Ask any of the other Protectorate subjects who converted, and they'd echo my words. When one can allow their ambitions to show, that is true freedom. Why do you assume I had anyone I could consider as such? My parents returned to the Void long ago. No siblings, no children. I am the sole bearer of my name. As for friends, few cared for a janitor who talked to herself and preferred her books to praising the Sovereign. Couldn't possibly understand what it's like to be seen as nothing. Then finally be afforded the opportunity to prove your worth. In any case, I do hope I've satisfied your curiosity. The war effort and liberating the rest of the Protectorate waits for no one, you understand? I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. I rather hoped that Copernicus rolled off the tongue a sight better than designation C0P3R. I suppose I'll ensure he responds to both in any case.
You've returned. I take it matters are progressing well? A proper start. Here, for your effort. Return again when you have another 4 volumes, and I will trade them for more valuable oddities. Stay true, outsider.
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Obviously, as the result of the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. I don't know. I'm no scientician. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
The anguish she always seemed to battle with, I fear it may have finally overwhelmed her. And could likely be what's driven her to her present course of action. I wish I knew. It's nothing good, I can tell you that. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. He's an archivist from the Order. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing.
The only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries' identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, Please, remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.
Whether it's an orifice or a